Papa, it's feel like a Malcolm. Yeah.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. How are you doing? Welcome back to my channel. Lately I've been shopping and changing my location, but I'm back at this location at the moment. Thank you for sticking around, and today I'm going to be taking you through a top 20 list, but it's going to be a little bit quick. So I'm going to be giving you the top. This is not an opinion video, this is just facts, right? Let's just rank the highest goal scorers in every Premier League team 2025 to 2026, right? So I'm giving you the highest goal scorers with their number of goals, their number of games in every Premier League teams, the 20 teams that are participating in the Premier League this season. So without wasting too much time, let's get into the top 20 list. Please subscribe to my channel. Always share your thoughts on my videos. Follow me on Instagram at JD Talks Football. Follow me on TikTok at JD Talk Football, and follow me on YouTube at JD Talk Football. Right? Let's get into the video. So in 20th place is Nottingham Forest with Chris Wood. Chris Wood actually appeared 2 times in this list, which is really is great. It's great, despite having the lowest goal for someone to be the highest scorer of a club in the current Premier League. But he appears in two, he's the highest goal scorer in the Premier League for 2 teams. That's madness. You understand? So kudos to Chris Wood. I think he's the top striker with 37 goals, the lowest in this list in 82 games for Nottingham Forest. So he's 20th in this list. In 19th place is Wolves with Raul Jimenez, who currently plays for Fulham, with 40 goals in 135 appearances for Wolves in the Premier League era. So Raul Jimenez is Wolves' highest goal scorer in the Premier League, in 19th place in this ranking. So in 18th place in this ranking is Brighton Hove Albion, which is Danny Welbeck with 45 goals in 169 matches as at the time of recording. He's still playing there at the moment, so he could still add to the numbers. So 45 goals in 169 matches. Danny Welbeck is Brighton highest goal scorer in the Premier League history, despite playing for Manchester United and Arsenal. I think he won the Premier League for Manchester United, coming to Brighton to be the highest goal scorer in history. That's a massive achievement for him. Kudos to Danny Welbeck, top striker, top player. Moving on to 17th place is Brentford, who, you won't believe it, man, but although it's believable considering the fact that they just recently started playing the Premier League. I think it was 2021 or 2022 that they played their first Premier League match. So the highest goal scorer is not Ivan Toney, and it's not Brian Mbeumo, it's Yohan Wissa with 45 goals in 137 Premier League games for Brentford. Yohan Wissa is actually Brentford's highest goal scorer in Premier League history. Top player, top striker. Since moving to Newcastle United, he has been struggling with injury. I'm sure by next season he's going to have a better season. Despite notwithstanding that he has achieved a really great milestone by being Brentford's highest goal scorer of all time. I know he's definitely going to be smashed very soon, maybe by someone like Igor Thiago or any. It's an easy record to smash, but it's something to write home about for the Congolese international. Moving on to 16th place is Bournemouth, who their top striker in Premier League is Joshua King with 48 goals in 161 appearances. Joshua King, I remember him in that he played for Bournemouth in around 2018 to 2020, I think until 2023 or 2024, thereabouts. He scored 48 goals in 161 matches. It was never for me a prolific striker, but he achieved that feat for them, and he's their all-time leading highest goal scorer in the Premier League history, in 16th place in this particular list. So moving on to 15th place is surprisingly Burnley. Burnley is not remembered for a lot of goals, but 15th place in this ranking is not bad for them in the Premier League era, with this man Chris Wood appearing again, the only player that appeared here 2 times, although The two times combined is now up to 100 goals. For he's the top goal scorer for two different teams in the Premier, currently playing in the Premier League. So Chris Wood with 49 goals in 144 games for Burnley. Talked about him before. I think he has made his mark in the Premier League. He's one of those players that you are not going to talk about them so much, but they have done their thing. You understand? So moving on to 14th place is Fulham, who their top scorer in the Premier League history is Clint Dempsey with 50 goals in 189 games. Some of these numbers are very poor, but these are facts. These are factual numbers. You get? So with 50 goals in 189 games for Fulham, Clint Dempsey, the US international, US, right? I think he's US or England. Maybe I'm going to put the right up if it's US or England. I think I'm mistaken, but I think it's US. So Clint Dempsey with 50 goals for Fulham in 189 games. Moving on to 13th place is Leeds United. Leeds United with Mark Viduka. Some of you remember Mark Viduka, fantastic player. Was a prolific striker, but playing for the when you are playing for the teams that are always middle at the time when Mark Viduka was playing for Leeds, they were not a relegation club like that, but they were not really the best teams in the country. Though they have always been a big club, they have a very massive fan base, but scoring goals in Leeds is still difficult. That's what I'm pretty much trying to say. So Mark Viduka with 59 goals in 130 games. He was there was this season. I can't remember the actual season, the actual year, but around the 1998, I didn't watch it. I'm just watching the documentaries. So he had a very good season. At some point, he was one of the best players, one of the best strikers in the league. So Mark Viduka, highest goal scorer for Leeds United with 59 goals in 130 games. What a player. 12th place is Sunderland, who their highest goal scorer is Kevin Phillips with 61 goals in 139 games. I used to hear that he's a prolific striker, that he scored a lot of goals. Not quite a lot of goals, but I think he has done well. He has done well for himself, and he's Sunderland highest goal scorer with 61 goals in 139 games. Moving on to 11th place before we get to the top 10 of this video, is Everton, who their top scorer. I think a lot of you will guess this one. I think you all know that it's Romelu Lukaku, especially because it's very recent. So Romelu Lukaku with 68 goals in 141 appearance. He is Everton highest goal scorer, the Belgium international, played for Chelsea, played for Manchester United, and still managed to be Everton highest goal scorer. Lukaku is a top striker. There's nothing less. I don't like. A lot of people say that he flopped at. I don't think he flopped at Manchester United. Things didn't work out at Manchester United. I don't think Lukaku was a flop. He was not exceptional, but he wasn't a flop at Manchester United. He tried his best, but everything was not working. You understand? During his time at Manchester United, he was still our highest goal scorer in that period. Did what he's expected to do in a poor team. So I don't think he was a flop at Manchester United. So talking about Romelu Lukaku with 68 goals, right? 68 goals in 141 matches. And moving on to 10th place in this list. I'm ranking this based on the number of goals that they have scored, right? So in 10th place is Crystal Palace, who their highest goal scorer is Wilfred Zaha with 68 goals as well. He's joined 10th place actually with Lukaku with 68 goals in 291 appearances. Actually, Lukaku is supposed to be higher than him because Lukaku played lesser games, but they are joined 10th place in this list. 68 goals in 291 games. He was a winger, so still kudos to him. He was a very fair player. He's not the kind of player that scores a lot of goals, but he stayed in Crystal Palace for a very long time, and he earned that reward as being the highest goal scorer in their history in the Premier League. Remember, this is specifically in the English Premier League. since 1992 when it was renamed the Barclays Premier League, right? So I'm not counting the all-time goals. You understand? So moving on to ninth place is West Ham United, who their highest goal scorer is Mikel Antonio, who also scored 68 goals in the Premier League era for West Ham in 268 games. So actually, I was supposed to have Lukaku in eighth place, in ninth place actually, then have Antonio in 10th place, then um, Zaha in 11th place, according to the matches that they have played. But it's still the same thing. The three of them scored 68 goals each for their respective clubs: Everton, Crystal Palace, and West Ham. So moving on to 8th place, I think it's high time we start seeing some really serious numbers in this list. It's getting boring at the moment. So in 8th place, but I hope we are going to see some numbers when we get to the top five at least. In eighth place is Aston Villa, who their highest goal scorer is Ole Watkins. There's a lot of recent players that are in this highest goal scorer. I didn't expect to see a lot of recent players when I was making this list. So in eighth place is Aston Villa with Ole Watkins, who has scored 84 goals as at the time of recording, 84 goals in 214 appearances for Aston Villa. We all know about Ole Watkins. I think he's a good striker. When you tend to, I think he's a good striker. He has produced some really consistent numbers. He has scored at least 10 Premier League goals in the past 6 seasons. He's one of the 5 or 6 players to have done that. So that's consistency. I'm not saying 10 goals. 10 goals is not too much, but to be consistently scoring at least 10 every season for 6 years, that's consistency for me. And I think Ole Watkins is very consistent, which is why he's Aston Villa's highest goal scorer in Premier League era. Kudos to him. So in seventh place is Chelsea. Chelsea, who their highest goal scorer in Premier League era is Frank Lampard with 147 goals in 429 games. Yes, now we are seeing some numbers. You get, so Frank Lampard with 147 goals in 429 games. Having played as a midfielder all through his career at Chelsea from 2001 to 2024 was absolutely fantastic. Definitely one of Premier League best players of all time. To be honest, he's a Premier League all timer. Absolutely fantastic. He was the only Chelsea player that I liked. Even though Drogba and Mikel was playing for Chelsea, and I like them as black players, but Lampard was the guy for me at Chelsea. Absolutely fantastic, incredible player, and he's Chelsea's highest goal scorer in the Premier League history. In seventh place in this list, right? So moving on to sixth place is Newcastle United, who the highest goal scorer is Alan Shearer with 148 goals in 308 games. No, so before you get it confused, Alan Shearer is still the highest goal scorer in Premier League history, right? But the goals that he scored for Newcastle is 148, just one more than Frank Lampard for Chelsea, with 303 games played for Newcastle. He played for Sunderland as well. He scored a lot of goals for Sunderland too. So yeah, I think he also played for Blackburn. No, I think yeah, he played for Blackburn. So those are where he can accumulate his 260 plus goals. So Alan Shearer in sixth place with 148 goals in 303 games for Newcastle. Moving on to fourth place is Arsenal Football Club, who the highest goal scorer is. It's kind of when I was making this list, actually I didn't realize that this person was actually on the top of this list. But it is what it is, and it's not too surprising for the player himself, but for the club it's a bit surprising. So in fourth place is Thierry Henry for Arsenal with 175 goals in 258 appearances for Arsenal. Absolute phenomenal. A lot of people say he's the greatest Premier League player of all time. I don't think it's that easy. The way the English made it, the way this I didn't watch his time. Maybe I think he was absolutely fantastic for almost everybody. The rival fans, everyone in England believes, like virtually 90% of the football fans in England believe that he's the greatest player in Premier League history. But I don't think it's that easy. Maybe I don't disagree with that, but I don't think it's that straightforward. Like I think he's absolutely phenomenal. Thierry Henry, What can I say about him? He was one of the best, definitely one of the best players to have never won the Ballon d'Or. Definitely, absolute top player and a top pundit as well. Thierry Henry um, in fifth place, right? That's fifth place with 175 goals for Arsenal in 258 appearances. So in fourth place is Manchester United, who their top scorer in Premier League history is Rooney. Wayne Rooney with 183 goals in 393 appearances for Manchester United. Wayne Rooney, what can I say about Wayne Rooney? Absolutely incredible, fantastic footballer, one of, if not England's greatest player of all time. Although he didn't end up winning anything for England, that generation of Wayne Rooney, Lampard, Gerrard for schools, and all of them, they didn't end up winning anything. David Beckham for England. But it is what it is. I think he's still one of. I can't say he's. I think Bobby Charlton winning the World Cup and all of that is still their greatest player. But I think when winning in the modern era has been one of England's greatest players of all time. 183 goals for Manchester United in 393 games. In fourth place in this list. So moving on to third place is Manchester City with Sergio Aguero just one goal ahead of Wayne Rooney with 184 goals in 275 games. That's a way less amount of games to compare to Rooney, to be honest. So he was a striker. Rooney, for me, Rooney played as a striker, as an attacking midfielder, as a winger, like he was playing every position. So he wasn't really an out-and-out striker, Wayne Rooney. So I think Sergio Aguero is more of a striker than Wayne Rooney. So he was absolutely phenomenal for Manchester City. Highest goal scorer by a foreigner. Okay, he used to be before Salah break that record to be the highest goal scorer, scoring foreigner in Premier League. With 184 goals for Sergio Aguero in 275 match. That's absolutely incredible. We can never forget that late winner against QPR to snatch the trophy for Manchester United in 2012. That magic Aguero moment is a moment that's going to live. That's going to live forever. Absolutely fantastic player, Sergio Aguero. In second place in this list is Liverpool, who their highest goal scorer in the Premier League era is Mo Salah, the king, the Egyptian king, who just announced he's leaving Liverpool. Absolutely incredible player. I think Mo Salah is phenomenal. I think every video that I've made that concerns Mo Salah, I've spoken really highly of him. I think he's absolutely incredible footballer with 189 goals in 310 games, and he's never played as a striker. I know he plays as a inside forward, but that's not. He's still a winger. He still has to do some jobs of a winger, crossing the ball. His assist numbers are crazy as well. So I think Mohamed Salah is absolutely fantastic. Second place in this list. Now leading us to the highest goal scorer for one club in Premier League history and in current Premier League is player that played for Tottenham in the person of Harry Kane with a whooping 213 goals in 317 games. Absolutely phenomenal striker. For me, if we are talking about pound for pound player, for me, definitely, if not the best, but the top two best strikers in English football history. I'm talking about the Premier League for Harry Kane. I think he's absolutely fantastic. He did it. The fact that he did it with a team that was struggling, which is not his fault. He's doing everything to carry them. So I think Harry Kane is incredible. So Harry Kane is on top of this list. Tell me what you think about this video. Share your thoughts on my videos. Tell me what you think I should make more videos like this from La Liga, other leagues. You understand? So hit me on the comment section. Tell me what you think. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and see you on the next video.